You might say Job gives us wisdom for suffering. The Psalms give us wisdom for worshipping. The Proverbs give us wisdom for living. They come to us in our ignorance and error and say, here is a wise way to live. They show us God's character in that they point us to God as the all-wise God, as the ultimate source of all wisdom. But not just that, as the God who's willing to give that wisdom, who's willing to impart it, who looks down on these poor, pathetic creatures that we are, sees us scrabbling around in our ignorance and error and darkness and folly, and says, hey, you guys, I want to teach you. I want to show you light. I want to give you wisdom. So it shows us His wisdom. It shows us His mercy and compassion towards us. We see Christ in the Proverbs because ultimately He is God's wisdom. He is Mr. Wisdom. You know, some of the Old Testament shows us Israel crying out in their sin for a priest. Some of the Old Testament shows us Israel crying out in their weakness for a king. And some parts of the Old Testament show us Israel crying out in their ignorance for wisdom, for a teacher, for a prophet. And really, Proverbs is the ultimate Old Testament expression of that yearning and of God's supply of it. But again, you know, you want something more than words. And so the Proverbs leave us in more light, but looking for better light. And it's interesting, the Proverbs hold out for us a personification of wisdom, somebody who seems to be wisdom incarnate, enfleshed, and yet He's not here. It's just a description. And again, it's saying, you know, when Christ comes, He is wisdom incarnate. He's the one that Proverbs kind of vaguely pictured and framed and modeled, but when He comes, He is Mr. Wisdom. He is the wisdom of God incarnate. He's the one, He's God's ultimate prophet, the one who scatters our darkness, who brings in the light as no one else can. And so again, Proverbs points us to the good news of a God who's willing to teach the ignorant, guide the erring, bring light to those in darkness, and point us towards not just wisdom as a philosophy, but wisdom as a person, as we find it in Jesus Christ.